God damn it, Josh. I'm just gonna write up two more. I'm gonna put two more things onto my one more thing onto my thing, and then we're gonna talk. Then we can start.
Yeah, I was thinking of another topic I could throw on. I'll think of it later.
What else? All right, that's it. I'm ready.
Good.
Are you ready, Ben? Or are you just
I'm ready. I mean,
is it just gonna be that one topic?
I'll just pull topics from my brain as I think of them. Usually, I mean, I'm better that way, honestly.
No worries. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Black Mind Podcast, episode 128. Something like that?
I think it's 128.
Yeah, 128. And I am joined here today by our ever-beloved host, Josh.
Hey, I'm beloved by someone, I think.
And we have a new person here. I think he's
Actually,
a machine.
I'm returning.
Are you? Because then again, you might have been on back when.
It was that one episode where absolutely no one could go on except for me. So I was like, Jeff, I'm literally by myself. Give me someone. Literally anyone. I don't care.
Yeah, I was at work, and Jeff is like,
this guy is clearly made. This guy is our Iron Legionary. He's from the Iron Warriors, Iron Within, Iron Without. What? But yeah. This is Ben, and yeah,
hello.
we actually have Jeff is currently at work suffering. Rory is a placid asshole, but that's beside the point.
No, he's what was it?
Oh yeah,
Pathfinder constantly.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's Pathfindering constantly now. God, I don't know how he keep doing that.
It's like, how can he Pathfinder so hard, so long? Don't you think it just gets raw after a while? Like, man, keep going.
go hard or go home.
I know Viagra's involved. I know for a fact that there's a lot of lube involved, and I know for a fact that he just doesn't stop. He's like the Irish. He breeds like rabbit. Oh wait, he is Irish.
Giant D20s, just giant D20s. He has to roll across the table.
Stop. We're gonna stop. We're gonna move on. Yeah, so EA did something retarded and is getting punished for it.
Oh, did they now?
They did.
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
What is it now?
I'm gonna let Ben talk about this because I've seen the talks about it. I giggled when I saw it, and then I saw some of the other posts about it, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
So where are you on the fact of like the whole like fiasco that they've been having with Battlefield 2 EA?
3.1 billion. That's where I'm at.
Okay, so they decided now to release the beta for UFC 3.
Oh,
Oh
is
man,
gonna be a
are
good
you
story, isn't it?
ready for this one?
Oh, I am.
The beta testers.
I'm rubbing my nipples in anticipation.
The beta testers
there.
report after completing the tutorial, you can immediately drop money on loot boxes and have the maxed out custom fighter and then play online ranked.
Oh, really?
Yep. And then you will have a maxed out custom fighter day one instantly for like $1,000. There's even more to it. There's like there's other customizations in there, but there's fighters, styles, and straight stat points in the boxes. So not only do they lock away fighters that you have to unlock through the loot boxes, it's also customization options for the created character and literal stat boost for your created character.
You know, I want to put just a little bit of input for. I have a point of view of playing For Honor on the Ubisoft game, basically, and they have loot boxes too, but it's not as gross as the degree, and like there's some similarities between the two, and I have to say that like what the fuck EA's doing is so gross to the point of like Man, it seems like you're just burning as many bridges as possibly can. Like, how hard can we burn the bridges here? Like, God. Like, freaking with the For Honor game, basically, there's one mode in the game where the loot boxes count, and that's about it. Every other fucking mode is all about the, fighting against the other opponent with whatever tech you have and what character you choose. So it's really like the loot boxes only matter for like one thing and one thing only. So like at that degree, it's like, and even then, like you get so much of the in-game currencies metal so easily that it doesn't matter. So it's like, oh, you could just, you can play this. You bought this game. You can play the game and play it regularly. And when that fucking stats come up and matter to like when it do matter, it's like, oh, you know what? You're at the high levels and stuff like that. That makes sense that you have a better weapon and shit like that. But at the same time, if that guy sucks, you can mop the floor with him like really hard. But fucking you have to like just get an instant like powered up character immediately. It's like this is like MMOs. Why is this not an MMO? I don't know.
I linked a picture of one of the cards that you can get. It's a literal move, and then it has stats on it. And then it also has like stamina cost modifier and damage modifiers on them. And it's like a 1-star card. So you can imagine that like you get like a 5-star card that just has better stamina cost and better damage modifier. And then so it's like, but I could do a body hook, but my body hook does like 8% damage, but this guy's body hook does 60% damage. It's like, what?
That's
what? Well, no. Yeah. Okay. So EA has just lost 3.1 billion in stocks. I'm gonna look at their stocks. I'm curious.
This only happens today, and this article's from 15 hours ago. So I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
Past, I'm actually gonna look at the past year. EA, since the release of Star Wars, what was it, on the 7th, the 8th? They have been doing nothing but a steady decline.
Wow.
And they're still dropping. Like it's at currently today alone they've lost 0.3%, which doesn't sound like much, but if you keep losing 0.3% every day, slowly but surely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's 0.3% of their stock? Like,
33 cents.
Okay, so
their stock is currently $106.02 USD.
Okay, so yeah, like if it constantly just dips and dips and dips, this is gonna really hurt EA in the longest term possible.
Yeah,
like
what really hurts me about this is that I do enjoy BioWare games. Even though Mass Effect Andromeda is fucking garbage, I blame EA.
Hush.
I blame Montreal for that one.
We don't talk about that.
But
it hurts too much to remember. It had a good concept, but it was done poorly.
Yes, it was done very poorly. But I enjoyed Star Wars: The Old Republic. Even when it went free to play, and they absolutely massacred it for their monetization, where they made it so like you have to. That's one of the things that really got me there, is like they chopped up the game so badly that to hide your head item, like in any other MMO, you had to pay like $2 $2.50. And then if you wanted to use an epic item, just a dropped epic item, you had to pay another $2.50. So it's like they were literally nickel and diming you for basics of an MMO. But the game was solid. It failed because there was no end game, and that happens because like that was just like a poor decision on BioWare's part. They never made an MMO before, but it's like now that EA is just in almost free fall at this point. It's like, what about Anthem?
Oh yeah, a lot of people are like, what's that game gonna be like?
I'm actually like really terrified about a lot of things, actually.
Yeah, I went from like being excited for the possibility of getting a main, BioWare company, new IP, new story, and then in the theme of a shooter, because like I love shooters, and then now I'm like, oh my god, dude, what are they going to cut out for DLC? What are they going to try to sell me through loot boxes? Am I even going to get a complete game?
I wouldn't be surprised if their stock keeps falling, that they would have a release statement saying, hey, Anthem? Yeah? We pushed it back. You haven't set a release date. We pushed it back. But there's no back. All the way back.
It back.
Oh, man.
And everybody's like, oh. And then they made a follow-up comment is, back. And we're like, oh, well, okay.
Oh fuck! Like if they remotely learn any lesson anywhere, you hope to God that they're like, Anthem is not fucked by this, and they're just like, oh yeah, it's totally that traditional RPG that you want. That'd be like, yes, that's exactly what we want. Maybe plays like Destiny 2 or some shit in some weird garbage way, but I mean like whatever. It'd be a nice new IP. It's an RPG. It's not screwed up by loot boxes and Nth Degree. Just hope to God.
Destiny 2 is riding that train of like, we're fucking it up hard.
It's getting close to that point. It's getting real close to that point. But for me, the real problem for me with what happened to what's it called? What happened with Battlefront 2 is Battlefront 2 had a story campaign. Had a story campaign where you unlocked loot boxes to get the cheapest character.
And it was
but it was 4 hours long.
Oh, we're not going to do the Angry Jet thing?
No. It was 4 hours long, maybe 5. And I'm sorry, but me watching it, the only 2 chapters I wanted to play of that entire campaign were the 2 space battle camp missions.
Ooh, that's
the one over Fondor, because I'm fucking happy that's actually now canon. That Fondor's a shipyard finally. That's the big reason why I want to play that mission, just because it's a Fondor shipyard map, and I'm like, the Fondor is a real thing. And the other one being, it's not Bespin, it's right above Naboo. Although Naboo is insanely short for a fucking mission. Like, I saw a guy beat the campaign in 5 hours. I watched him play it on YouTube, and I was just like, man, I was just...
I love the whole, like... I was watching the Donkey video game Donkey, and he was just standing there, just like kind of just like casually just like sweeping over and then headshotting them and then getting life back, and I'm just like,
I just like how he was playing the multiplayer, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm fucking Darth Vader, let's do this, yeah, what, no.
Yeah.
just like as soon as he gets it, it just ends. It's like, man,
did you
sucks.
Play the beta at all?
No, I never. To be fair, despite how much like everyone around me likes Star Wars, I kind of like it too, but not to the degree that everyone else does. So I'm like the low shallow pool end of the like liking Star Wars, because I'm like, oh, I like the characters, I like the weird aliens, but it gets to a point of like, man, I just don't care. Like,
no. Well, that's really... but that's a fair point. You say that like it's, I just don't care, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I see how it is.
Yeah, I can respect that. It's like
I can respect it.
It's like not like in Star Trek.
I see how it is.
Friends.
You traitorous bastard.
Yeah, you're gonna put me in this pool of friends over here.
As the gift goes, traitor! By the way, that actually scene has a lot more implication for me now that I know what the entire scene is about. I will explain that. Like, do you guys want me to explain that scene real quick?
The traitor scene?
Yeah.
Isn't that like somebody he knows or whatever?
That's like, okay, so Finn was kidnapped as a child. He got put in a group of 4 troopers. That first trooper who got killed at the start of the scene, in the start of the movie, had the nickname Slips. Because he was a screw up. He slipped up, he stumbled, he fell, and stuff like that. So he was nicknamed Slips. There was Niner and Zeros as the other 2 that he had in his group. Finn didn't have a nickname. So there's that. That traitor guy and those 3 guys that were training with him spent their entire lives with him. So Finn just literally loses a brother at the start of the movie. Slips. Traitor is Niner.
Huh.
And Traitor is like, could you imagine going through that? Just like turning around and seeing this person who's literally been raised with you now fighting to kill you just because you just can't do what they do now.
That has to really suck. And it sucks that they didn't even explore it all in the movie either.
You mean like how Finn should have been the main character and not Rey? I mean, what character? I mean, Rey doesn't have any character, so she doesn't even count as a main character. The story has no main character.
That's true. I mean, if you think about it, it seems like they're building up for the 3 of them equally to be main characters, but like
that won't work. That will actually make it suffer.
They went way too hard on like Finn being a unique stormtrooper and then did nothing with it.
Yep. They made him a huge coward too.
Well, I mean, I think when you're inside of such a mega organization and that's all you know, and then you leave and everybody's still scared of them, you're like, man, like, maybe I have a reason to be afraid.
The big problem for me is he does nothing but run until he's forced into a corner to fight. And, like, normally that isn't a bad thing for a character, but the thing is, he's such an active coward. He... Like even like in the novel that where I find out that's Niner who's the guy who screams traitor, because you figure like they you figure out who those 2 are in that book. You discover like what interaction they have with each other. Niner and Zeros don't like Finn. Finn likes Slip, but Slip doesn't like Finn because Slip feels like he's letting the group down, and Niner is like none of them. It's dumb stuff like that. But like the thing is. Like even in the book, he actively fights. He does his job. He's the soldier's soldier. He's like an officer material soldier. He knows the tactics. He knows the maneuvers. He can do all that. But in the movie, he's just this deadbeat loser who just runs nonstop.
Huh?
Yeah, he's actually like he could be a really cool character. Like he could be amazing, but like I guess we're gonna see with episode 8 here in 2 weeks. Which I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited for. But
when it came to them having to attack the Death Star 3.0, I'll call it, he was like
not the wrong point.
He was pretty like eager to do it, and he had a good plan. So at the end, when like he needed to, he had it, but like. If from the beginning,
where was it for everything else?
Yeah, if he was like that from the beginning, you think he would be a little more tactical about trying to escape than I'm gonna fucking bumblefuck my way through and just like I'm just gonna like try to bluff my way to taking this prisoner and then walking into the fucking hangar. Like really?
Yep.
But yeah, that I don't know. Like, when you start poking holes in it, it's like this movie's like not that great. But if you just like sit down and just like
turn your brain off,
it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, and that's the thing for me is like with Star Wars movies, I can do that. Like I can actually go back and like look at like I know everybody hates the prequels, but I can turn my mind off for Episode 3. I can do it very easily because like I like the action scenes. I like the idea of this political espionage being the way it is. I like that. But I agree with a lot of people that they're just flawed as fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like I can do it for 3. I can't do it for 2. I can't do it for 1. 7, I did it for the first time I went and saw it, and I've watched episode 7 I think like 6 or 7 times in total.
Wow.
Because I saw it I think 4 times in theaters and then 3 times here at home. And every time I watched it in theaters, I was less and less like the second time I saw it, I was like, okay, now I'm going to start analyzing the fight scenes. I'm now going to start looking at these because I'm an animator, so I like looking at 3D digital stuff, and I go, hey, how do you do this? How do I do that? Okay. And then I watched it a third time because unfortunately one of my friends missed the big movie premiere that we did with like 12 guys. So I took him and a friend and we went and watched it. And then I was watching it with him. I'm just like, oh, that's when I asked myself the question of where's Rey's character? Why is Finn this coward? But then again, Poe Dameron being like actually the most interesting character has almost no screen time.
Yeah. And the fact that like he died. Well, because like he thought he was in the.
Well, he was dead for a solid half of the movie.
Yeah.
And then he comes back as this, and like I get that he's supposed to be like the best fighter in the Resistance, the best X-wing pilot in the Resistance. But I'm sitting there like watching him fight, and I'm like, wow, he really isn't all that good of a pilot because like he doesn't stick in squadron formation. He just fucks off, and I'm just like, wow, you should be dead like 4 times over at this point. Because and that's the thing. That's the reason why I loved Rogue One, because the entire time that you watch Rogue One, every if you watch all the X-wings and all the TIE fighters and all the Y-wings in those scenes, they're either paired up or 3 in a group, and you only see one X-wing break off one X-wing break off from his formation and goes off alone. And you see what happens to him. There are 4 TIE fighters on his ass the moment he breaks away. 4 of them.
Wow. I'm not sure how movies are made, but like I know that they had some pretty good writers for 7. I know they had 2 of the guys that did Empire Strikes Back, so like that's why I had high hopes for it anyway. But do they like not write out the action scenes? Are those done by like different types of writers, and then like they're just kind of like, we get from this scene to this scene, and then they write dialogue and like how the whole thing progresses? So like those scenes are like filled in by other people? Is that why
that's the thing
that
is
happens?
when you do like action scenes and stuff like that, you like they like when they're doing the script, they script out what the people are saying, and then they add in like fight happens here, and then like fight coordinators and action coordinators will work with them and like, well, this is where we want to have a fight scene and this is how we want it to happen. And so what they script out is like how they do dialogue and stuff like that, and they put in like struggle or fight or impact and stuff like that, and they just do that. And like, I'm not gonna lie, the fight scenes, like Finn versus Kylo Ren is cool. Like, it was a really cool scene, except for the fact that Kylo Ren is essentially a master Jedi / Sith / whatever they are, because he's actually not a Sith. He's not a Sith Lord. Whatever he is.
I would say master is stretching it. I would say at best he's a knight level.
No. Okay, well, yeah, knight. Sith Knight or Jedi Knight, one of the two. But the thing is like watching them actually like duel the way they did. I was just like, how is Finn keeping up with this? I understand that he's been a trooper for all his life, but this guy is literally a Jedi. What the fuck is going on here?
How many
the fan explanation that I heard is they were building up the Wookiee bowcaster the whole movie, and he gets hit in the gut by it.
Yep.
And he just killed his dad. Spoilers.
It's been out for 2 years, and it's one of the largest grossing franchises in the world, next to Disney.
That was the
Fuck
joke.
off.
That was the joke.
I know.
But so
I get that.
So he's mentally disturbed, heavily wounded, and pissed the fuck off.
So no. I'm actually gonna point this out about the dark side. The dark side, it feeds on emotion and as such makes you more powerful.
I agree.
So in other words,
that.
in other words, Kylo Ren literally is the monster that you don't want to fight at that point. Kylo Ren is the monster you look at as a Jedi and go, he's wounded, he's angry beyond all belief, and he's emotionally and he's in emotional turmoil. I'm gonna leave that the fuck alone. Because even Jedi would see that and go, that's death incarnate. Which brings up my next point about this movie. And I'm sorry, we're not getting on topic, but like I want to rant about this. The fucking reason that Rey can just go reach out, picks up the lightsaber with no Jedi training, or the fact that she mind tricks someone with no Jedi training,
yeah,
or the fact that she beats Kylo Ren in a mind duel.
Yeah, that's like.
I'm sorry, Josh.
And of course, the other thing is at the very beginning of the movie, they show Kylo Ren's like amazing.
Stop a laser bolt mid-flight. Actually, sorry, plasma bolt, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, he didn't use Tooth of Menace and absorb it. No, he just was like, "Nah, bitch, I'm stopping that," and he just stops in midair, and then just walks around casually, and it's like,
yeah,
that's a force feat that like we have never seen, and it's just like, and it's so much leagues above that it's like,
yeah.
He must have been so off his game at that point that even the amount of rage that he had was only like just keeping him upright.
Yeah. But the thing is, that's the reason why like I kind of want to see this new movie. I want to see this movie because it's confirmed that certain ships are now canon in this series. It's confirmed that well, I don't like the new design of the walkers, but that's beside the point. But the fact that there's now this mega class Star Destroyer, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this flying wing. But then I see the back of it, and I'm like, oh no, that's just a mobile shipyard, huh? Yeah, just so you know, that huge giant like mega Star Destroyer. I gotta remember that it's not super. I'm used to going super above mega, but that's beside the point. But this mega Star Destroyer is twice the length, is twice the width of the full length of the Executor, and they show an image of the back. You see the red engines like you see on a Super Star Destroyer, but then you see all these docking slots for like Star Destroyers and Resurgent class Star Destroyers and the new Mandator 4 class Star Destroyers, and I'm like, oh, this isn't like an actual combat ship. This is a mobile fleet command ship.
That's intense.
That I fix. And on top of that, apparently it has inside of it. It's got almost all the first. It's like a small portion of the First Order is that ship.
I hope they do an episode 5 and don't destroy it. Because
I don't know how I feel about that. I'm kind of skittish about that.
This should be if they're following classic, 4, 5, and 6 like arc, this should be the low point for the story. Where it's like this is
which
the
it
most,
looks like, but at the same time I'm kind of like, as much as I like space battles, I want actually good plot story this time.
Yeah, I hope that it's a good low point, it's a good twist. Let's get it going. What was I gonna say? Oh yes, I was actually thinking about this earlier about the force feats. Did you see the new canon comics for how Darth Vader got his lightsaber?
Yes, I saw that. I was fucking like, that's fucking cool.
I know, that was like so boss. And it was just like
they've handled the material related to in between the prequels and the original stuff actually pretty well. But as Josh keeps like gently reminding us that we're getting off topic, we should get back on topic. And we're gonna get on. We're gonna get back to.
Sorry, I was just playing Pokemon here. What?
Yeah,
what?
I'm sorry, Josh. We keep pulling away. So what happened to this? We're gonna leave it at that. EA fucked up. They're being retarded still. Oh boy, nothing new there. But what happened to your vinyl? Because I see here in the chat that something happened.
Oh. Okay, so I have a small selection of vinyls in my I have 10 odd vinyls in my collection, and I've gone through the mail, and then they're all in pristine condition. They're all not broken in any way, and this is the first vinyl I got in the mail, and it's bent to shit.
Did you send a message to them saying like, this is how I got it?
Yeah, pretty much. I've sent them pictures. I sent them email like, hey, this was broken. And the funny thing is, though, when I was looking back at my email, it's going, when did they send it? Maybe I can go through their emails or something. And then on the bottom of one of their emails, it says, hey, yeah, we got known problems of them just simply getting fucked in the mail. So, hey, just email us. And it's like, couldn't you just like put a fragile sticker on this shit or something, or get a better sender for this stuff? But whatever. So I'm going to wait for email back because I just sent it like 2 hours ago. Because I more or less got home around like 4 o'clock, and my dad's like, "Oh, here, I got the thing in the mail for you." And I'm like, "Cool." But as soon as I start looking at it, I'm like, this is clearly a record, and this is clearly look like someone like dropped something on top of it and also threw it on the side. And I was like, well, what the fuck? So
for considering, I don't know if Allan knows. I think that's your name. I live in the States, and if you send anything through UPS, if you don't bubble wrap and like specifically like make it for rough handling, you're gonna get something that's bent in half for sure. 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Because USPS is just, they're all automated, and their people like do not give a fuck. They will just stick that shit like in between your screen door and your door and just shove it in there and just walk away. Like they would not care. And it's just because they're completely underpaid and just like absolutely screwed. But it's just like, I've been hearing that shipping has just been getting worse and worse and worse. Like there was like Amazon started to do their own shipping now. And some guy ordered an HTC Verve headset, and it was signature only. And the guy just said that he got received the signature and then just left it at the end of the guy's walk in front of his garage. Just like a $500 system just sitting out in the open.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard of those stories too, and it's like, man, like there's a reason why the like people need to be paid here, or so that you don't give a shit. Like, God.
Yeah, it's just pay your people.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like kind of simple answer to this question of like, man, how can we make people care about these like these shit that they're shipping? Pay them. Like, God.
And it's like, I can understand that, like, don't pay them $15 an hour because that's what you pay your EMTs. But like, if the UPS guy gets, paid minimum wage and he works all day and he's like barely making it by, you think he's really going to give a shit?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Well, okay,
exactly.
But at the same time, like, here's the thing. Like, a lot of people fail to realize about economics is that, like, to stay competitive, the minimum wage needs to still be low. It needs to be fair. It needs to be effective. But at the same time, with UPS, what they should be doing is instead of delivering it to your door, they should be calling ahead when the package is delivered at their station and go, "Are you available for delivery at around this time?" And if you say no, okay, package will be available for either pickup or delivery later in the evening or around this time if you're available.
So there's two problems with that. The first problem is most Americans will say, "Fuck that, I don't." Most of them don't have time to take that message. There's a lot of times people aren't around. And even if you do say that, the scheduling might end up not even happening either, just because of the way things are. The second problem is that the post office that's by my house does the whole district, and it's the size of an apartment. You can't fit the amount of packages that come through to this whole district in that one post office, and that's the closest post office for like 30 miles. There's not another one. I have to go like literally over half an hour to get to the next post office.
Yeah. No. I can agree with that. Like, that's bullshit. But like, all you gotta do, like, and that's the thing is, like, for us up here in Canada with the Canada Post, if the package is too big that they can't fit in your mailbox, they don't deliver it. They take it back to the Canada Post. They leave a message at your door saying the package is available for pickup at this place. And that's it. Yeah, well, Americans are entitled, and they will be like, "Why did you just leave it?" It's like it's the problem. It's the way we've been doing it for forever.
Eons.
And the post offices are too small. There's only ever one person, maybe two during peak hours in one of those places. So if you have 40 people come through a day, just for packages, they won't have time to do anything else, which is weigh other packages to send out or any other kind of processing. So they have to hire more people. And just recently, they had to do a huge layoff because the budget is so low, they can't afford to pay all the people to drive and put out mail. So they're double booking our mail drivers now because the wage is just they can't pay the wages. It's just the budget is way too low. So like any of those solutions that you have from the Canadian Post just will not work here because our budget is just too low.
Well, it's not that it's the budget. It's the fact that the Canadian Post Office is run by the Canadian government.
Yeah.
It's run by the UPS is run by the state.
Is it? I thought it wasn't because it's up here in Canada too.
The states are the ones that regulate the budget. So it's a state by state case.
That's why. Because I also remember watching a video a while ago of a FedEx driver throwing packages into a fucking ravine. Like just grabbing a bundle, throwing it in a ravine. Grabbing a bundle, throwing it in a ravine. And it's like, holy shit, no one's going to get anything that day. Fuck.
Oh, are you thinking of UPS? Or I was talking about the United States Postal Service, which is the USPS.
I can't remember which, I want to say it was FedEx because all the packaging that were chucking out looked like it was FedEx packages.
Yeah.
But again, this is a video a long time ago. But I'm like, man, if I would have saw that in public, I would have physically punched the person in the face because, fuck you. People need this shit.
I would have
holy
too.
God.
I would have too. That's just, it's absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit.
Even my boss is she's getting fumed because our distributor that sends us our games has been shortchanging us with the games that they send us. So sometimes we get one or two less games. And there was even one time the package showed up and she could literally fit her arm in the package, reach in and pull something out when she got it. So it was just their distribution warehouse is bulking us hard. And it's how do you do business like this?
Yeah. It's just, it gets to a point of I kind of wish there was a living wage or as soon as you hit a certain age or something, you start getting paid for just living and be like, hey, don't worry about don't worry about life because life is at least somewhat covered.
Yeah, it makes me wish I lived in Sweden or one of those Nordic countries that pay you to go to school. But then it's but then I remember that Sweden now has a migrant population that is way too high and committing crimes at 80%.
Yeah.
So no thanks.
Yeah. The proportion of crime to populations of native to migrant is actually kind of ridiculous. It's the same in Germany, it's kind of the same way in Norway, or sorry, Denmark. It's kind of the same in France. If you actually look at the polls of general populations, likes and dislikes of Muslims, if you look at Italy and all the southern states over by Greece and stuff like that, all of them are 65 to 80% dislike, and it's just oh
wow. I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah. It's not. I'm just oh, well, that's
So basically, it's not racist, but I guess it is.
No, it isn't.
But at the same time, it's do Muslims have to just seriously take a second look at themselves and go do we want to keep doing this over and over?
Are we the problem?
Yeah.
They didn't look at themselves and go,
baddies?
No, they didn't look at themselves and go,
hey, Muslims
Hans, are we the bad guys?
We'll never think that. It's almost within their ideology not to think that.
Yeah, it's almost within the religion not to think that.
Yeah, it's kind of oh man, we should suppress every single thing that makes us any animal whatsoever, and just try to, just make us into robots. Let's do that. Just robots suppress everything. Oh God, this doesn't work. God.
Well, it's also glad that you don't live in Germany because they have a 0% hate for Muslims. Am I right? And I hope I don't have to explain that joke. I really don't. because it's depressing. I feel bad for the Germans. I really do.
I really do, because they need to. Okay, here's the thing. Last time they tried to be have national pride in themselves, a war happened.
Yeah, so they're like they're a little skittish about that.
They're very skittish. They're skittish about being nationalistic.
Yeah, because there was that video of their prime minister like pulling down a flag or something during like some kind of press conference that she was having. And it was like, you're pulling down your own flag during a press conference? It's like, what? It's like they're like so anti-nationalist that like it's almost like they don't want they don't want to be German anymore. They just want to be an nebulous blob.
Yeah, I mean, when you completely genocide an entire race, that kind of happens.
I mean, like, you gotta forgive yourself eventually.
Yeah. I mean, I think once they get further and further away from it, they will slowly gain back of like, hey, we could be okay as a German. Just, we did something bad, but now we're so far away from this thing that we're like, hey, we're way better than this. Like, it's just going to take so much time. It might take like 200 years or some crazy ass number, but it will take time. Same with Muslims. It will take it'll probably take 500 years for those fucks. Whatever. Like, I mean, it will take a lot of time.
Have you seen their towns and stuff? I think it's going to take a little longer than that.
God damn, it's going to take centuries, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to take centuries for that to sort out.
Oh, did you see the H2H2 podcast with where Ethan was interviewing his wife Ela about Israel?
I did not.
You know what? I was going to see that, and I forgot to see it.
I thought it was absolutely fascinating the way that she talked about her child life, because women over there have a real hard time, obviously. And so she was like, going down to the mall was like almost like a risk when she was younger. Yeah. Because it was just like, you go to a popular place, you could die. And it wasn't just like 8%. No, it was like 40% chance. So like you were flipping that quarter every time you walked out the door and went to the mall. And she said that during those years where the bus bombings were super popular, it maybe lasted a week and it just died instantly. And it was just super hush-hush, quiet. Whatever they did, instantly curbed it. And it's
his wife's name is Gila Klein, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was posted 2 weeks after they had Jordan Peterson on, and I kind of want to watch that. They've also just had JonTron on yesterday.
I watched that one too, but it was.
I'm gonna watch those two.
It was so amazing, like the fact that like every day for them was almost a gamble, and like how do you live like that?
Yep.
And then the other thing is that their government is so efficient at dealing with outside threats. Like a week? Could you imagine if there was a bus bombings for a week in the United States? Do you know how long it would take for us to deal with that? Oh, I keep forgetting you guys are Canadian. But, I mean, for us in the United States, that would take... there would probably be like 20 or 30 if like a mass amount of people were like following an ideology and doing that. It would probably take a month before it would ever stop completely. And even then, they would just be, you're being racist to them, you know? And I'm just like, no, they're blowing themselves up.
It's like there's no pieces of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is the reason why Aliens hasn't visited us yet. Because we still have to sort some shit out.
He probably looked at us and said, we're not worth it.
Exactly. Or fuck, they're like, oh, do they still have religion? Maybe come back another century.
Well, but that's the thing. Like with the situation with Israel for me, because like I actually had somebody who discussed and actively defended the terrorist group that was in the Gaza Strait. Is it the Gaza Strait or like I can't remember where it was, where they like were actively attacking and. I'm like, no. like I understand that Israel is inherently a problem in the world, because that was America going, no, we're carving this out so we can put people who have been actively like attacked and destroyed, and then promptly Egypt, Syria, and like one other country attacked them, and they promptly kicked all three countries' ass. Surprise, surprise! I think they deserve to be there now. But that's beside the point. But the fact that people will defend the Muslims in a way that where like they're like committing like bombings and like missile strikes against civilian populations, not even against military installations, it's against civilians, which is just polarizing the civilian populations even more against them. They just don't understand, like. And the thing is, it's not even because like, well, Muslims are being killed. No, it's because like if like a good example, ISIS has a magazine where they write a letter to the left-wing people who are defending ISIS as though they are just people who are mad and just angry and just misunderstood. You want to know what the ISIS said to them?
Thanks.
No. Do you know what they said? It's not because we're being bombed. It's not because we're being killed. It's because you are different from us and we hate you because of that. We are commanded by our God to kill you, or you submit to Islam. One way or another, you will either succumb or be destroyed. There is no other options. Do not presume that we actively hate you and we will go out of our way to kill you, even if it means our own destruction. And the left doesn't understand that.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, and they said that they were making it easier for us.
Making it easier for them, yeah.
Because like you're just preaching, Islamophobia and all this other stuff, but it's like, and then we can just do whatever we want.
How can you deal with supreme chaos? Like, fuck. This is like super villainous bullshit, really. Like, it's getting to that level of like, how do we even deal with this? I don't know. They keep throwing people full of bombs at us. Like, I don't know.
You mean trucks?
Like, or trucks or whatever. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know. That's not something that I could ever hope to imagine to be able to know how to fix.
You gotta wonder what the hell is gonna break the camel back on the entire ideology whatsoever. Like, what's it gonna take? Like, is it just like, I don't know, the entire population dies? Like, is it going to take, like, pornography or the absurd amount of internet around the world to slowly seep in, and then people be like, oh, we're so wrong? Or, I don't know, like...
Well, they obviously have access to the internet since they're putting up propaganda and everything. So they're obviously just actively ignoring what they think is heresy, which is what we know is to be normal, or, or to be intellectually, honest and thinking. But what really might break it is just like, when do we say enough is enough and we put our foot down as, Britain, America, Canada, all that was just like, when do they break one of those countries and the UN finally can no longer ignore it, and they're like, I guess we have to do something now, and then we actively go to war.
Yeah, no one wants to do that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, but eventually there will be a breaking point to where there is a large enough terrorist attack on 9/11 scale that will reignite it again.
Yeah.
Or Kim Jong-un will throw a nuke.
Here's the funny thing for me. What makes it really funny for me is the fact that if we ever want to stop the Middle East from being this firecracker of hell that it is, you know what we need to do?
What's that?
A swift and thorough extermination. I hate, a lot of you guys, I know you guys chuckle, and a lot of people are like, well, that's racist. Like, no, you don't understand. These people won't change, and the people who will change have actively already moved away. These aren't people who anymore who are like, oh, well, they're just different people, let's let them have their way. No, they actively are like the most vile, they are a death cult and stuff like that, and they don't even realize it. It's just like, holy shit, they have slaves there still.
Yeah, they capture Americans and other.
No,
other
not just Americans. Africans, Indians. They have slaves from anywhere in the world now. Women are gay people are pushed off buildings. They don't.
I agree. They're very vile. That the extremists are very vile people, and they won't change. But
this is the extremist I was talking about.
Extermination is wrong.
I know morally extermination is wrong, and I understand that. But I'm kind of like looking at the situation going, it's like, but this is what we're facing.
Because I mean, think if the minority was the other way around though, and they were like trying to exterminate the last few of us. Like that would suck.
You mean like what they're trying to do currently? What
they're trying to do, like just because like in their mind they're the majority and they're right. But then if we think that way, just because we're in the majority, are we right?
We're not in the majority though. We really aren't. Muslims make up more of the world's population than the Western population.
That's true.
I hate to break it to you, but that's how that situation is. No, I understand that. Like to do it, to change the Middle East and all the Muslim-dominated countries, it's gonna be a slow, tedious process, and it's gonna take centuries. It's gonna be kick out their legs, drag them out, beat them into submission, kind of like fighting.
We need a Metal Gear plot.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, we need the senator to go in.
Nanomachine, son. That's exactly what we need.
We need some like transgender ninja guy to go in, confuse the fuck out of them, and then slice them the hell up when they're looking at him, going, "I don't understand what gender this person is," and they'll die.
As he's cackling madly, saying, "Hurt me more."
Yeah, exactly. And what is it? Then we have our robot dogs go in, and they're going to be spreading pornography everywhere. It's just confusing me even further. And then
what race was Sam? I forget which one he was.
Sam, what was it?
Because he had like a Spanish accent or something, but like he was a samurai, way better than Raiden, and it's like,
oh yeah. Actually, not only was he way better than Raiden, he didn't have any augmented bullshit other than the suit he was wearing. So he was naturally good. He was so fucking good.
Yeah, his arm and his suit were the only thing that were different, and it was because, and like he had an AR attached to his sheath to shoot his blade out like a bullet.
Yeah,
and he did that.
Yeah, he could catch it. And it was so hard. Like, it's so amazing because it turns out, like, oh, he was just so good at what he did that it was like nothing compares. Nothing compares at all. So it's like, frick. Oh. Now, I don't want to spoil that game. But at the same time, it's like, man, he's so cool. He's, it's actually kind of old.
It's on PS3.
But I'm like, man.
I'd say.
Yeah,
I say it's okay to spoil.
Yeah, so when he just keels over and dies, it's like, oh, that sucks. And then when you play his side story, you're like, you should have been main character.
Yeah.
It's like, you should have been main character. You're so much cooler.
Although in the story though, isn't it the justification that he lost is because he didn't believe in his cause enough?
It was, what was it? No, it was like someone, like the loop of violence keeps continuing over and over, and he just couldn't stop it, type of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was like because he couldn't really get around that ideology. It was like, fuck it, I guess I'll work for the bad guy, I guess. But I felt it was kind of lame because if this guy was going to go that far to continue fighting for the good guys, it's like, why wouldn't he just keep continuing? Like, seems like everything else wasn't a problem, and this was? Like, come on.
Well, I think what he was thinking, he was probably thinking along the same lines as Armstrong, because at first he was, fighting his way up to him in his story, and then when he gets to him, he's convinced by Armstrong's arguments where Jack wasn't. So, and when you think about it, he probably realized at that point, it's like, maybe it's better to break the cycle by any means necessary now while I have the chance and have the control than to attempt to change the system in a better way. So he probably was just like, maybe I should do this in my lifetime while I have the chance and the power, then maybe potentially leave it to somebody else in the future and do it slowly. He's like, maybe just pull it out by the roots now, get it over with. While I'm alive, I can have the control to do it. Because he's ridiculously strong. And he's like, I can just do this now. I can control Senator Armstrong. Because he almost beat him the first time. He's like, maybe if I just train a little bit more, I can beat him the next time. And then I can control this guy. And that's probably what he was thinking. That's me personally what I think. And then when he met Jack, he was like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. And then he lost because he was conflicted. And then Jack won because dumb Jack is Raiden.
Because Raiden's luck is always on his side. Man, that universe is weird.
Just that game is weird. I mean, it's the weirdest game. Although it had some of the best fucking music ever for boss fights.
Rules of Nature!
Okay, Rules of Nature is meme-worthy, but I mean, like, the last three, Something I've Only Known, I forget the goddamn titles now. Now I have to know.
Just repeat Rules of Nature 3 times, and that's the entire soundtrack.
I don't know. A lot of people were like, were really upset at the last song during the Armstrong fight. Because they were like, oh, it's just so edgy. And it's just like, really?
Oh, I think I know what song you're talking about, because, like, I think Rory linked it to me once. Metal Gear.
It has to be this way.
It has to be this way?
Yeah. And it's the lyrics in it were like, they were like super edgy and super like something that like you would like write in high school about the big government or whatever. And like a lot of people were like,
okay, no, the one that's like big government and being like edgy during high school is Collective Consciousness.
That's true.
Which is by far my favorite movie, and that's my favorite song in that soundtrack. I'm not gonna lie.
I actually really like that one too. I like It Has to Be This Way because it meshes with the fight so incredibly well.
Yeah,
but you know, Collective Consciousness is definitely the best song standalone. That fight was great too, because I mean, it's like you literally cut off a giant mech's arm and then beat it to death with it. So it's like, yeah.
Okay, do we want to get back on topic for a little bit?
Yeah.
Because we were talking about the vinyl and stuff like that, and then that just trailed off to nowhere.
Well, back on music at least.
Yeah, we somehow got back on the tracks of music.
Let's segue into the guys coming to Edmonton.
Sabaton and Creator are coming to Edmonton again. Hoorah! And so here's the thing. As viewers of this show may know, Josh wanted to go to a movie or a concert, couldn't go because his went, but had a second ticket, but his buddy couldn't go because he was definitely sick. And then Jeff went with him, but couldn't get in because his ID was expired. While we literally, I think it was literally last week when we finished the podcast, I was just looking up what Sabaton was doing currently, and then I just saw on the day I just saw Sabaton and Creator coming to Edmonton on the 16th of February. I was like, oh. And so I've got a group of 5 guys going. Me, Jeff, Josh, and Brendan so far.
I'm so jealous that you get to do that.
I could probably bring another friend too.
I would love to go see Sabaton. Honestly.
Well, they're doing a North American tour, so you might like look around and see if they're going to a town near you.
Oh, I'm far too broke, and I have to go into Philly for that. So bulk that, because the last time I went to Philly was I went to the Electric Factory to see Disturbed, and Dragon Force. And that was a living hell.
Okay. So, as you said, the nearest one would be for Philadelphia. Philadelphia would be in March on the 6th for you.
Cool.
Yeah, just so you know, just so you know. And this is at the Fillmore.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. I know up here in Canada, each ticket is $40, so it might be like $30 for you down in the States there.
That's funny.
Okay, that's what it's up there. Again, that's what the ticket is up here for us. It's $40 for us.
I'm almost certain that those tickets are going to be nearly $80.
Okay. That's what this says on their website here. Although it says promoter ticket, so I have no idea what that means.
Promoter ticket? Really? Where?
That's what it says, but I don't know. Let's see. I'm going through this purchase process and see what it says.
Is $41 each.
Really?
Yep.
So there you go. So it's $40. Is it worth going into Philadelphia for like a 5-hour concert though?
Oh, that's a starting point. They go up to $95.
Oh, is that like meet the band, or is that like see them pee in the urinal for 10 seconds?
See them in ultra high definition.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, everyone, you have to wear these goggles.
That says row 1-4.
Oh, you've actually got seating for yours. That's why.
Weird.
We don't get seating because they're going to the Union Hall, and Union Hall is just actually like a giant mosh pit where the band plays up on a stage, and it's just a pit that you stand in front of. And then there's the upstairs where there's 2 bars, or there's actually 3 bars in total in this place.
It's a giant donut shape, basically.
There's 2 balcony boxes on either side, then there's seats in the back, and then there's a general admission, which is on the ground floor. The ground floor admissions start at $41 and end at $95.
Wow.
So it's like if you get early tickets, you'll get them cheaper, but if you get later tickets, you'll get them way more expensive. So that sucks.
Yeah. So, but it's worth it. It's Sabaton.
I don't know if I've even listened to their new stuff. I'm like, I just use my Pandora, so a lot of the stuff I listen to is like older, like 2003 to 2006. So that's a lot of stuff that like comes rolling through my stuff. Like it was pretty much like where I forget what year it was. It was whatever year that Nightwish started rotating singers like fairly quickly after what's her face. So whenever that happened is like kind of the era of music that I'm listening to. Oh, like 2008, Ghost Division. I don't even know that song.
Oh, jeez.
That was a good song. That was Ghost Division came out I think back in like 2012.
I'm looking at Google right now and it says The Art of War 2008.
Oh, really? I thought that album wasn't as... Huh. Let me go through my iTunes and see what I was currently listening to. Because as of late, for music selection, it's been like, oh, I go to Reddit, and then I go click on prog metal, and then I just click through the selections to see what's there, and I go, oh, that's good. And then I'd be like... Then I sift through iTunes once or twice and be like, oh, I like this album, see what other people have listened to, and I just sift through that and be like, oh, this is actually quite similar to what I like, and listen to that band. And
so you have to give this band pretty good props because like the 2 main guys, Parse Sunstorm and Joachim Broden, have been like here since the start back in 2000. That's actually pretty cool. Studio releases, other releases. Last release was back in 2015. We're probably getting another album here coming up in 2018, that means. Art of War came out in 2008. Coat of Arms, 2010. Carlos Rex. I will straight up say that was a fantastic album. Same with Heroes, same with Last Stand. I love Art of War. Coat of Arms is actually really good. But then again, I haven't listened to the whole album of Primo Victoria and Altero Dominatos, which is a fantastic song.
Yeah, I've been checking through my iTunes now.
I don't know. I like some of their random songs from like their older albums. That's just the stuff that like I get randomly. I don't actively seek out bands too much anymore. If they pop up in Pandora, then that's the best I got.
What the fuck? Yo, this band is old.
Which one? Because there's a
Creator, the band that's coming to North America with Sabaton. Creator has been around since 1982.
Wow.
Because I thought they have the same drummer and the same singer since they started. Wow. I would have thought the band Blind Guardian was super old because they started when I was born.
I love Blind Guardian.
Who doesn't love Blind Guardian?
Oh, I know. It's like, who doesn't like Blind Guardian? It's like you could turn on almost any song and bring it to a person, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is actually not bad." It's like, yeah, it's pretty good.
It does actually. Blind Guardian's been around since 1987.
Sacred Worlds is one of my favorites.
Sacred Worlds, and I like the Beyond the Red Mirror. Sacred Worlds, the album that comes with it, which is at the time has one of my favorite songs in it too, which is "Curse My Name."
Oh, I think I like that one too.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. Oh, there was very specifically that Sacred Worlds. There was a song. Yeah, there was a song in one video game because Blind Guardian was featured in it to have a music video, but it was like all in-game character assets type of thing. So it's super weird. It's super goddamn weird because it's literally like, oh, here's all the monsters enjoying this rock concert with Blind Guardian as like the main, like the singers doing this concert for all these monsters. It's like, this is so fucking weird. So fucking weird. It's like, then of course I think about it too deeply going, do these monsters have feelings and do they really like music? And like, I don't want to hurt these guys. It's like they're just rocking out. They got cool ass goblin drummers. Like, come on.
Does Blind Guardian do Bard's Tale? I think it's called, or Bard Song. So it's something Bard.
Yeah, like they were featured one or two times during like early 2000s in video games, and and of course, I saw this old interview video with them going like, "Oh yeah, I really think it's a great opportunity to have our music in our games and blah blah blah," and then I go look at the songs that got featured in there, and it's like, oh, these are just full blown music videos. It's just them rocking out with a whole bunch of assets from the video game, and it's like, I don't mind this, but at the same time, I can't. I'm thinking too deeply about this at the same time because I trail off super hard like that. Can I find that video? Oh fuck, I found it. It's fucking great because it's literally all the assets, all the monsters are all just like rocking out, and you can see the sound guy totally like doing his shit.
Oh god, this is almost like where World of Warcraft did their thing with Elite Tauren Chieftain.
Oh yeah. This is all for Sacred 2, like in game, like it's fucking hilarious.
That's great. Yeah, but what got me into this was got me into like this genre, I guess, was Camelot, I think.
Oh, you know what got me into the genre in the most weirdest way possible? I was playing Robot Unicorn Attack on Adult Swim. And you know how that soundtrack is very like, oh, what's the name of that song? It's I run away with you and blah, 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 blah. It was playing that over and over. And I was playing through that game and I was like, oh, this is fun and it's dumb and whatever. And the soundtrack's blasting in your fucking face. But then I was looking through the game selection. They have an opposite version of that called Black Unicorn Attack. And I was like, oh, let's check this out. So the song that they chose for that was Battlefield from Blind Guardian. and that shit is just fucking in your face. You're like, and you're this fucking metal ass unicorn killing everything. Everything has been tweaked from not rainbows but to blood and guts and shit. So you're going through this game and you're killing shit and you're trying not to die. And you're like, I feel so empowered. Oh god.
Oh wow.
Do I even want to know what I just came back to?
We were talking about how we got into the genre, and it was that game that he was playing.
Yeah, it was a game. What was it? Blind Guardian was a robot unicorn attack, and then I played the opposite version of that, which is like the heavy metal version of it. And they're playing Battlefield. What was it? Yeah, Battlefield from Blind Guardian, and it was just blasting in your fucking face the entire time you try to play this fucking Flash game. And it's like, oh man, because it's so loud, and what you're doing is just killing shit left and right, and you're like, I feel so empowered right now. I don't understand I don't understand this, but it feels great. And
can I point out the fact that like your story is this really like hardcore epic gameplay situation, and then
it's fucking a clicker. It's a fucking clicker.
And then this is my experience. This is where I first discovered Blind Guardian, which, by the way, Nuclear Blast is also the studio that actually puts out Sabaton, so they're under the same parent company, which is fucking awesome.
I actually listened to a lot of the Nuclear Blast Records stuff.
Yeah, but the funny thing for me is the song that this is based on the novel series by Mark Heitz called the Dwarves series. And it's that now has a game. So I have a series which for me was just like amazing for me, which was hilarious because I'm just like sitting there like watching this video. It's like, wait, is that Boendil? I know that name from somewhere. And I get up, I go to where I keep all my books. I picked up the novel, flipped through it, and I'm like, Boendil. And then I go back to the screen and I pause again and I see another name and I'm like, and I'm just like, Tungdal, and then I just like flip the page and there's Tungdal, and I'm like, is this a game based off the Dwarves book? And I immediately went to Steam and I'm like, holy shit. And then I saw the soundtrack, I was like, holy shit, yes. And yeah,
wow. And
ever since I've been addicted to Blind Guardian.
Yeah, I kind of had like my first introduction to Nuclear Blast, I think, was, I'm probably going to say this wrong, but Santa Arctica?
Yeah, Santa
Arctica, that's how you say it. Okay. I always say it wrong. I'm really bad with pronunciations with like those weird names. So they were like the first in the Nuclear Blast records. And then I started, somehow I got from them to Camelot. And then I got from Camelot to Blind Guardian and so on and so forth. And now I'm on like Falconeer and like a couple others. Like, I didn't even know anybody even knew these guys, honestly, because like I felt like everybody around me likes like pop rock and like these weird like indie bands that are like very light rock. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
yeah, and that's the thing is like when you actually look at these bands who are like, oh, light rock, oh, da 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 da, you're like, this is actually really boring music.
Yeah.
Or what was it, Nickelback or Three Doors Down?
Okay, here's the thing. Three Doors Down has some good songs. I will defend Three Doors Down.
One or two good songs, yeah. Like, was it Kryptonite? That was at least decent.
Kryptonite is like, that's the thing that I know for Three Doors Down. But then again, one of my other favorite bands is Demon Hunter and their music. I love their music because it's like this. It's clearly like meant to be like emotionally religious stuff like that.
Oh yeah, kind of like Audio Slaves, or what was it? Like one or two tracks from Audio Slave was like, you know, the song's actually kind of religious, right? And you go, what do you mean? He's like, you read up on the lyrics, and you're like, oh yeah, this is like the birth of Jesus or some shit, and you just didn't realize it. Because what was that? What was that one track?
I'll get a video for you for what one of their songs is.
I was listening in my car one day when I was going to work. I was listening to Pandora, like I said, and Camelot My Confession came on, and I didn't really like listen to it like the first couple times. I was just kind of like letting it play. But then I was sitting there and I was eating before I went into work, and I was like, huh. like, this song's lyrics, like, actually kind of, like, seem to mean something. So then when I went, like, looking into it, it was like the whole album is literally written to follow, like, the progression of a character. And I'm like, whoa, that's fucking cool.
Oh, yeah. Actually, there's an album I know of, and I kind of listen to off and on. It's the Deltron 3030. It's basically the entire soundtrack is all about like what it's like to live in the year 3030 and try to go to a rap concert in the year 3030. It's all rap, and it's all done really well, and it's all like a mix of what it's still like it's rap and everything. It's still R&B, but at the same time, it's like it has a weird narrative to it. To like, I like it, and I don't necessarily like rap or R&B, and I'm like, this is really fucking cool because like it tells a story throughout the entire thing. And I was like, yeah, this is fucking rad.
That's the thing. Like when you get good music bands and stuff like that, you generally like it's like they always have like stories either to the whole album or to the or to a store or like to like a set of songs or like a chain of songs. So like with Sabaton, they can get away with like telling stories of like major operations and stuff like that for World War II, World War One, the Gulf War, the war for the Northern War and stuff like that. Like they get these really cool narratives. Then you go to like Blind Guardian, and you get the Sacred Worlds, the Beyond the Red Door, which is the entire album is just them talking about like the religious uprising of one group and like all the fighting that goes on related to that stuff and like that. And then you like it's really cool, and it's like holy cow. And that's the way I kind of prefer my music. It's the reason why I like Tessaria and Tyr and a few of these other bands. And I'm like, hey.
And then I go onto YouTube and I type in, Forgotten Realm from Tekken 7 and fucking just heavy metal bash my head to that because that's the most rawest EDM bullshit ever.
Yeah.
I should find it and link it because it's the most like pounding bass bullshit, techno bullshit in your face ever, and I love to crank it in my car every time I get a chance because I'm like, fuck yeah, it's fucking punching shitty people to the face. Fuck yeah, it's metal. How long have we been talking for?
I see that thing you linked, and it reminded me of the Demolition Ranch video where they had one of these like big ass magnums that he shot, and it was like he had his like special forces friend shooting it, and he was like he hated it. He was like, I hate this gun. This gun is every time I shoot it I flinch because it's so big. It's like a revolver, and I'm just like, I probably wouldn't even want to pick it up. It looks so intimidating to me.
Like I said with the comment with that gun, goodbye wrist.
That gun also reminds me of that gun from Fallout New Vegas.
Which one's that?
Let me find it.
Oh yes, I should post this in here. Fucking the most basiest bullshit ever. I gotta point out in this Tekken 7 song, for Abandoned Temple. So you hear the soundtrack and go, man, this is like the most techno bullshit ever. And then you go, yeah, now place that in that you're fighting in this like temple place and like jungle and like stone architecture and greenery with this fucking in the background, and it's like, this doesn't fit at all. And you're like, yeah, I know. like they mixed the tracks up for some reason.
Yeah. No, I'm just kind of hoping like cause like the thing is like when I went to the Sabaton concert back in May, I had a bit of a giggle because I'm standing outside and I'm talking with guys really quickly while we're getting ready to go in, and one of the guys is like, no, you don't just tiptoe into metal, you just drop in and just let it consume you. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, boys. And they're like, why? It's like, well, you have to understand, I found Sabaton by accident. And he's like, oh. And then my next comment is, I found Blind Guardian by accident. And they're like, oh yeah, like I'm tiptoeing in by accident. And they're like, and I'm like, yeah, like I as much as I love like good metal and stuff like that, it's just like,
yeah, it's either someone points it out to you or you somehow discover it by yourself, and you're like,
yeah,
this thing exists. And then you go to other people and go, hey, do you know this thing exists? And you go, yes.
That Tekken song reminds me of this. Here, I'll link it.
Like, yeah, like fucking, I just love cranking to that shit so hard. Oh boy, now I have to listen to this.
It's great, by the way. At least I think it is.
Because like, there's very few Japanese music songs that I can point to and go like, yeah, I really like this. But it gets to a point where it's like, it's a little too anime for me.
It's such to me, I think it's really interesting because they took traditional instruments and then mixed them with modern instruments to create metal.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I think that's really cool.
Oh yeah. Although the dumb thing with me is that, like, you know, I listen to a few of these songs and go, I agree that they're good, but at the same time, it's like I get this weird stigma in the back of my head of like, I'm just listening to some anime intro. Like every fucking time, it's like I'm just listening to some anime intro.
I've heard this somewhere before.
Yeah.
This is frustrating because I've heard this somewhere before, and
I'll admit,
like it feels like I've heard that somewhere before. I'm gonna put that in my favorites so I can listen to it again.
Yeah, I'll admit I'm a dirty weeb. I like anime.
Oh.
I like this kind of shit.
It's actually really funny because like I got caught up in my anime that I need to watch. You guys didn't hear me say that. But like I need to get caught up in like 4 animes, and other than that, like it's nothing too serious. But at the same time,
I have a hard time in these last couple seasons. Before Boku no Hero Academia came out, I had like a hard time because
the good series were running dry. Apparently, Boruto is apparently just amazing.
I started watching it at work because like I'm just allowed to put whatever the fuck I want up on the TV while I work in the game store. So it's just like I threw it up one day because I had absolutely nothing to do. I had nothing to watch. I was like, you know what? I'll just throw it on. I finished Shippuden. It was fucking trash. I'm just like, whatever.
Except for the final fight scene, which was fun, which was amazing.
Skipped it. I skipped the entire end of the anime.
Did you?
I pretty much.
Dude, you. Okay, you know what you're gonna promise me to do when we finish the podcast night? You're gonna go watch the Naruto Sasuke fight at the end.
Oh, that I did watch. I watched that fight. Yeah, but I didn't watch them versus amazing. The main bad guy. I skipped that. I pretty much glossed over it. Went straight to Naruto versus Sasuke. Skipped the rest of the filler to like the good bits, and then immediately went to Boruto. So. And I'm watching Boruto, and then I kind of stopped working to watch Boruto.
Yeah, because here's the thing, because it has all the old good elements of what Naruto used to be.
It was like the perfect soft reboot, almost.
Yeah. But the big thing for me that I'm like, actually like the one that I want to really, really watch right now, because I need to get caught up in Hero Academia. I need to get caught up.
Yes, you do.
But the big thing for me that I need to get caught up in is watching the 2 Gundam series that I need to watch, which is Thunderbolt and Iron Blooded Orphans. I need to watch what's it called? ReZero. I need to watch.
You haven't seen a ReZero yet?
I know, and I have to watch its. I have to watch its happy-go-lucky counterpart.
Konosuba.
The Konosuba. I have to watch that one, and I have to watch the one where it's like game, anime, and like movie characters anime characters coming to life in the real world rather than going to like the like fantasy world.
I don't know that one.
I'll find out the name of it because I watch Geiger online. And he talks about like one of the videos where he's like making fun of it, and it's like, wait a minute, is that a mech? Wait a minute, is she playing a Tommy gun? Wait, why is she playing a Tommy gun with a saber? What the fuck is going on? That's how he describes this anime, and he's like, no, this is actually like straight up like one of like the anime series that surprised the fuck out of me.
Did you watch?
Because it's actually apparently like really good.
Full Anime 2017 in a nutshell. By him.
I have. It's fucking hilarious. I love it.
It's just like, have we gone too far? It's like Pengu is 8.6 on fucking my anime list. It's like, what the fuck? Oh my god. The other thing is Black Clover makes me want to gouge out my ears. I gave it 3 episodes. I actually gave it 3 episodes, and I was like, I have to laugh because like when he was the spring anime, because it's in the spring anime, and I'll get the name of it here in a minute, but I'm just giggling because like I love how he describes it. It's just like, the fuck, what, huh? Because he goes from being like, oh look, it's another Ikasai series. Wait, is that a fucking mech? Is that girl playing a fucking Tommy gun with a saber? And what the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? Oh! I'll get the clip for you and everything. It's so great. Like I'll just link you where he talks about it, and it's just amazing. Oh, the name of it's called Recreators. Oh shit! I was gonna watch that. I actually have that like saved in my like to-do list. My to-do list, I have a bookmark folder, and it's like from the top of my 19 by 1080 screen to the bottom.
Yeah. Do we want to get Jeff in here?
He's already in the channel.
I was gonna say we've been talking for an hour and a half.
Yeah, but like, hey, we can get Jeff in here and we can talk with him for a little bit. And
sure.
And yeah, because we haven't even been looking at the podcast list. I don't even really care about the podcast list other than the one thing
I've been glancing at it. I'm like,
other than maybe the Black Friday stuff that happened this past week, which I ended up spending money and I hate myself for it.
Did I spend any money on?
I bought 5 games for like $20, and I was like, "This is great." And then I bought a game for $30, and I was like, "Oh, why did I do this to myself?"
Open the floodgates.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, hi Jeff. Hi Jeff.
Hi.
And by the way, welcome to the podcast.
Single-handedly saved the show.
Ben single-handedly saved the show because we haven't even been like looking at the podcast list. We haven't been talking about the thing that like me and Josh are gonna have a knife fight about. We just kind of like throw our hands up. We're like, no, we're not talking about this on the podcast.
Really? Because I kind of was excited for this.
We weren't going to have a knife fight because you will hear my end of the recording because I recorded my entire comments about it.
Oh,
yeah.
But like the thing, but yeah, no, we're gonna get back on topic. Where the thing is I with the Black Friday stuff, I was adamant about not going out and buying stuff other than going to pick up one thing, which came in on Monday, which pissed me off because I couldn't get any of the Black Friday sales, and I was so mad about that.
I just got a hard drive for free, so.
Damn, boy, good job.
Yes.
How big?
Damn.
2 terabytes.
How big?
But good enough for
2 terabytes. Ooh.
Alan, you're talking to the guy who has 9.5 terabytes of storage on his main rig.
I get that, but you gotta remember, I only have, I think, 6. I don't think I only have 4 right now.
Man, I'm the real pleb.
Not including the 3 external hard drives I have.
Ben, you also live down south, so like, it's amazing to me that you don't have more, but I'm not surprised.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
What stores do you have close by that would offer 4 terabyte hard drives for like one Canadian peso? Actually, it was 100 Canadian pesos.
100 Canadian pesos.
none.
Exactly.
But I mean, there's not even like the closest store that sells computer supplies is this mom and pop shop down the street from me, and they only sell cables and like components and pieces. They sell like cases and stuff. They don't sell like any kind of hardware. If I want actual hardware, I have to go to Best Buy, and that's it. That's it. It's literally the only place I can buy things.
And this is why you don't go. Well, this is probably why you don't have 4 terabytes of hard drives like lying around in your machine.
Well, then I buy stuff online, like off Amazon and Newegg and so on and so forth. But, I mean, I get good deals from shopping online at least. But it's just like, the only thing I have is a 1 terabyte, so. And it's not even an SSD, it's just a regular one. But that was also because I kind of had like an emergency where my hard drive was failing and I needed a new one. So I just kind of like went and researched, bought the first 1 terabyte one I could slap on my computer that I could get in 2 days for a reasonable price. So that's that.
That's how I ended up with the M.2 drive. Is I went to the amazing store and just asked them stupid questions, and then they were like, "Just buy this. Just buy this. Your life will be better."
The largest problem I have with my hard drive is that when it wants to write, like I'm installing a game or I'm transferring files and it's writing onto the drive, it decides that it must put 100% capacity on writing. So if my Steam updates while I'm in the middle of something and it starts writing the files that's been downloaded, everything grinds to a halt and I can't do anything. Because for some unknown reason, it's just like, I must install everything at maximum capacity.
I must install everything at Mach speed.
Yeah. I mean, it installs really fucking fast, but it's like there's literally like 6 minutes where I just end up sitting there in the middle of like, you know, Warframe, and I'm like, I would really like to move now. And then it's like, no, you need to wait till I'm done with this. It's like, all right, I'm done now. And then I'm like, but I'm dead now. Thanks.
It's such a weird problem. Couldn't you fix that through like a BIOS or some shit?
It's probably you could fix it through a setting in Steam where it's like, don't download something when I'm playing games.
Steam shouldn't even be doing that. Like that's a standard. That should be just standard.
Well, I said it so it would, but I keep forgetting to turn it off. But I mean, it doesn't happen often, so like I don't really worry about it. But it's just one of those weird quirks that my computers do. I have the absolute worst luck with computers, by the way, because the first computer I ever owned, straight out of the box, I had corrupted RAM. First brand new gaming computer I ever bought, corrupted RAM right out of the box. So I had to replace the RAM.
Nice.
I think I can one up you on that.
And then every single computer I've had from then has the first set of RAMs that I put into a motherboard always corrupts. It never fails. It's either the first week or like the first couple of months they corrupt and I'm just fucked. But before you try to one-up me, I will tell you I literally blew up 2 computers. One of them threw out like 3.5-foot flames out the power supply, and the other one blew every single capacitor on my motherboard.
Great. I blew all of my Northbridge capacitors on a $300 plus motherboard.
Ooh.
Josh remembers this because Josh was listening to me rage and scream and yell at the top of my lungs while I was trying to get the stupid computer running for the podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. I was just chatting away, and he was just flipping out super hard. And you're like,
there were swear words. There was a lot of swear words, and then there was, if I remember correctly, "I Will Remember You" started playing all of a sudden once I realized what happened.
Yeah, because I think I remember that happening too. Was just because I just heard you coming on. What? Huh? And you were like having a seizure when that happened, and I was just like, Jeff, calm down.
No, this was way before you. This was like episode 10.
Oh, was that episode? Wait, okay. So I thought you were talking about. Like what was it? AMD and stuff like that.
AMD and NVIDIA was working together, and I just had a brain explosion.
You're like, what is this?
The mortal enemies that I want to work together. It was like perfect fan fiction. It was like somebody had held up a Ken doll and a Barbie doll, and put NVIDIA Intel on one and AMD on the other, and then just started going kiss, hug. Anyways.
You know, I have to say I'm getting pretty lucky with no computer problems whatsoever.
Oh, trust me, we're going to cause the computer problems, Josh. Me and Allan are going to overclock your motherboard till it explodes.
Oh, no.
And I know it sounds like a joke, but you can actually overclock your motherboard till it explodes.
We'll just get...
I have seen it done now. I don't joke about that it's actually just straight up scary.
We'll just pick up Ben. We'll drive down to the States, grab Ben, bring him up, have Ben fiddle with the numbers a bit until it explodes.
Oh no. Then I go, man, someone's paying for a new one.
I need to renew my passport.
Yeah, you might want to do that, Ben.
I might actually have to lock my computer up finally. Damn it.
Do you not have a password on your computer?
I don't have to, because I have a trusty family.
The only password I have on the computer is on my laptop.
Dude, okay, here's the thing. Josh, I understand. I trust my family too with my computer. They know my password. I still have a password because when I log off, I don't want people wireless accessing my computer.
But I mean,
I don't know.
Do you have a secure network? Because if you have a secure network, I mean, if they hacked your network, I mean, you have more of a problem than just them getting in your computer.
But that's the thing is, I have a secure network too, but it's just just in case they get through that.
At the same time, who the fuck is gonna hack my shit?
Me.
I totally know you're gonna be there, because I gotta I'll look out my fucking window and go, Jeff, why are you here? And then you just drive away.
It's more like I just show up to your house. Just conveniently one day, just go, hi, Josh, how are you? You quickly plug in a USB, move some files while you're in the bathroom, take out my USB, put it in my back pocket. Hi, Josh, I gotta go now.
I have to say that would be very impressive, because my room's on the second floor. Either you have to get a ladder to get up here, or actually walk past me. So
no, I would just be in the room.
Luck.
I'll just be in the room, doing what I'm doing. I'll probably just switch your desktop to Brony or some shit like that.
Yeah, nothing new there.
I did that at Nate, actually.
It's gonna be really funny,
insulted.
John.
I would not be insulted.
It's gonna be really funny if Jeff comes over to do that to me and he logs on, he looks at my screen, he stopped. He's like, I don't know how to insult him now.
I have ways.
Back in the 2000s. When my friends used to come over to my house.
Oh, we're going back far. We're going back a ways, boys.
When I bring my friends over to my house, they would my computer wasn't in my room. It was in a computer room because I always had the best computer in the house. So my mother used it. So when they came over, when I would be out of the room, they would walk over to my computer and they changed the background. Well, 2 of the 3 times they did this. The first time they did it, they changed it to Tub Girl.
Oh.
And then the second time was...
Wait. Whoa. Time out.
Tub Girl? You don't know what Tub Girl is?
I have no idea who Tub Girl is.
I actually think that's too vulgar to describe.
Before Goatsy. Yeah, it's before Goatsy bullshit. And it's
Yeah, well, then the next one was Goatsy, and then the third one was, random anime titties, but still, it was like that was the time that after that I started like passing or protecting my computer whenever those two came around because they kept doing it. So I was like, you guys need to piss off with this before my mother sees this crap.
I don't have one way to one up that because that's pretty bad. But I did that at Nate one time to some poor sap.
Yeah, doing someone at Nate's pretty funny.
So my teacher, so I was just like, oh, my computer's conveniently logged in. I guess I gotta find the most brony fucking shit I can find. And I found literally not porn, but this like all of the ponies like playing games and stuff like that. And I changed his desktop to it. My teacher was in the next class afterwards. This poor individual logged onto his computer and just was in for a shock. And he said, like, yep, this was probably one of the funniest things ever that you could have done.
The funny thing is that the Tom Girl thing kind of reminded me of an event that happened in my life
recently.
No, this is actually back before I graduated high school. It was like that year. It was like 2007.
Ben was attacked by some progressives.
No, I went to a party. We were all 18, and my friend was going to join the army. So we were going to a farewell party at Rowan. In one of the off-campus houses, this one of like our friends' was having a party there. So we were there, and my friend's getting drunk, and this is when BME Pain Olympics came out too. So everybody's drunk watching that shit. And then the next thing we know is this girl starts mouthing off. It's like one of the roommates' girlfriends is there. She's mouthing off, and my friend is like, "Man, you're being all right," and then expletives. And then she's like, "I'm gonna sock you in the faces," and he's plastered. By the way, he's like, "Go ahead, do it." And she hauls off and smacks him in the face. Took out a huge chunk out of his lip out of this. And that almost got him to not be able to get in the army. Because they said if it had to have stitches, he couldn't get in. And it was like some dumb woman almost like ruined everything for him.
Some drunk, dumb idiot ruined everything.
Some drunk tub girl almost ruined his life.
It was so funny. And like this wasn't like, I'm not talking about like a normal size girl. No, this girl was like 5'0", like 80 pounds, and almost knocked his ass out.
Dang.
And that was what it was like. Holy crap, dude! These drunk people are getting out of hand.
Man. I'm just thinking of the stories of what Giant Bomb Jeff Gertman would tell about like his old house that he used to live in and shit like that, and it was like that like the stuff that would happen with like him during like the 80s and whatever. It's like, man, he went through a lot of garbage with weird people.
Yep.
Man, and I'm just sitting here playing Pokemon, and I'm like, oh man, I'm kind of happy I'm a loser.
I mean, you do play Magic, so I wouldn't say you're that big of a loser anymore. You're like on the spectrum of losers. There are people who are worse than you, but there are also people that are better than you, and that's okay because you're never going to be 100%.
Wait, Magic isn't bottom of the barrel anymore? What's bottom of the barrel?
No, trust me. Magic is like a little more edgier than would say Yu-Gi-Oh cards or even Pokemon cards.
I would say.
Actually, I can tell you which one is the bottom of the barrel.
Is it Warhammer 40k? Please tell me it's Warhammer 40k.
No, it's not Warhammer 40k. Warhammer 40k is actually pretty cool.
It's going to be funny when Warhammer 40k and War Machine go through this stuff.
So, we're not going to go through that right now. But okay, so the bottom of the barrel is a game called Vanguard.
Vanguard?
Yeah, it's.
Oh yeah, that's bottom of the barrel.
Josh knows what I'm talking about.
I don't even know what that is.
I mean,
you don't want to.
It's an overly complicated. Like, isn't that a card game? I forgot what it was.
It's a card game where you have like, oh, here's my like starting card, and then I get to add like guys on the side that add damage, and I have to do enough damage to kill that thing, and I have to hit him 6 times to get the damage through, and and I'm just like, why would you make it so complicated?
See, I thought you would have talked about the furry card game.
The reason why I didn't bring it up is I've actually talked to someone who's like, yeah, no, I've actually sat down and played it because there was nothing else to do that one day when I was with my friend, and he was like, it's actually like really, really, really good to play.
He had a coworker one time.
If you ignore the fact that it's basically furry porn, it's actually apparently like really, really good.
Basically furry porn.
And it is furry porn though.
Let me look it up for you.
Don't you dare!
No, do it. I want to see this now. I'm curious.
If I can find the name of it.
Ben's gonna buy this. He's gonna buy it. And
I'm gonna burn it in hell yipping. Let's go.
No. What?
Yeah, here you go. Here you go, Ben. This is going to go straight to you. It's not going in public chat. It's just going straight to you.
Josh, post it in public chat. Post it in public chat.
No, you don't.
Or we'll start talking about magic. And all the drama.
Oh my god! My god! You're not kidding.
Yeah.
Are you? Wow! This is like. It's literally softcore porn. What the hell?
So the best part.
There are straight up images of like dudes and chicks fucking in this game.
So the best part about this entire game is that one time I had a coworker literally explain to me this game, and they were like, "Yeah, like basically the objective is in order to make your opponent come," and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's why I said we're not talking about this game. Jesus Christ, why would you post that in chat? I'm disappointed in you. Let's get this podcast done and over with.
No, we need to talk about magic. We need to talk about...
I want everyone to
We're not talking about it,
I need to see Josh and Allan stab each other.
No, you can hear us talk about it beforehand.
I'd be laughing my head's on.
I didn't click the card spoiler, and now that I have, I wish I didn't. There's an actual card called Dick Smasher, and it's just a fucking furry cock slapping another one. Are you serious?
Anyways,
you should get your brother.
I love Gaze of Justice. That's the perfect name here.
You should get
thank you for joining us for the Black Mind podcast.
Ben, you should show your brother some of these.
We are slowly going insane.
Oh my God.
We'll be back next week. You can catch us every Thursday, was it, Jeff?
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday of the month. Yeah. With a podcast, unless it's like a holiday, which it's going to be on the... Because I'm not going to lie, I don't think we should do a podcast on the 22nd. I think we should think
that if we're going to do a podcast, we're going to do a very quick recap over the year. Like a 30-minute show.
Yeah, on the 29th. Yeah, on the 29th. Yeah, I can do that. I just say that we shouldn't do a podcast on the 22nd because it's right before Christmas. So I'm just going to be like, But yeah, thank you for joining us. Everybody have a great week, hopefully, and we'll see you next time.
Then how was your day, Allan? How was it? Was it fine?
It was good. It was nice and relaxing.
Other than freaking family members hounding me for like, hey, you should go work for CN Rail. You got jobs. And I'm like, is this gonna make me not stay at home and do fucking work? And they're like, but you make so much money, though. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, God.
Yeah, also, I'm recording now, by the way.
All right.
Yeah, sorry. I would have been on at 8 o'clock to do this recording, but I was babysitting. Looking after my nephew. Yeah, basically.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And Josh, we don't have to talk about the Magic controversy. I have to rant about Feminist 40K though.
You know what? Yes. Sure.
No. Okay. I'm gonna put this to bed between both of us right now. Just have our little dirty little knife fight. Okay, I will agree he was being a dick.
Yeah.
But the fact that the Magic community as a whole on R and on YouTube are calling for him not only to be doxxed, but banned, sued, and have his livelihood destroyed. Yes, I have proof of this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Him being an asshole to a cosplayer who really doesn't have anything to do add to the community other than dressing up as X number of characters, including sexy Johnny, which was just her walking around in a bikini and just a Johnny head mask. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sorry, I can't defend that. He's an asshole, but at the same time, he has a point. She isn't adding anything to this community other than basically what is basically softcore porn for these guys.
Alriady.
But the fact that she can turn around and go, all this abuse has been leveled against me, and the entire community not only believes her, but is actively harassing him to the point where they're trying to get Wizards of the Coast to ban him and sue him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is why you don't want social justice in your gaming communities, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I get where Josh is coming from. He's kind of a dick, but I've listened to him talk to a lot of people recently. He's been on top of the Laurier University thing. He's been talked to other people who've been attacked by social justice. He actively tries to he's I guess I'm not going to be in the Magic community anymore, so I guess I'm going to go over here. And he walked away. He made his comments known. Nobody listened. He walked away, and then this happened.
Mm-hmm.
So
at the same time, though, when he was making his videos and stuff like that, there's several YouTubers that come out as higher up on the food chain of YouTubers what was one guy, Tolerant, I keep mispronouncing it. Call it basically named after a Magic card. It's a college university thing he plays off of. Anyway, he made a huge video saying hey, every time you do a video, some person gets harassed by your dipshit followers every fucking time.
Okay, here's the thing, and I agree with all. You can't control your masses.
True,
and you know what's even funnier is this, and this is the reason why that feminist 40K thing is up there for me, because that's something I need to talk about, because that's related to this topic of feminist 40K has been saying the same thing about a guy named Arch Warhammer, where he actively harasses them, where all he's doing is putting out logical fallacies. Please provide me with proof. Please provide me with proof. It's unfounded claims.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but at the same time, again, it's the same situation of, it doesn't matter. You can't control your masses. You can say, don't contact this person. And honestly, on good faith, I would believe my community wouldn't do anything dumb. Mm-hmm. And before all these Magic guys turn around and go, well, your community's harassing this person, a lot of them have an overlapping community. So what does that say?
Yeah.
So they're not exempt either.
So everyone's assholes?
Everyone's assholes. The world sucks. Too bad.
Your dog died.
So sad.
Your family's dead. You're dead too.
Your dog died. Your family's dead. Shit, life sucks. Too bad. So sad. That's how it is.